What's the word, Rufio?
Ain't much, man. How you feeling, man?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. We are back, brother.
Word. You ready for today's episode?
Today's episode, I am ready.
Nice.
D-side Bodega.
Word. What you got there? What you got on there, man? What are those?
Oh, you know, I try to take it back with the little Clarks, but these ain't Wallaby Clarks. These are called Weavers. So you know what I'm saying? I'm big on Clarks.
Okay.
So yeah, these are the Weavers right here. So you know, the little bone color. And, you know, that's how we rocking. They mad comfortable. But I see you got some joints.
Yeah.
What are those?
These are the Nike Cortezes, man. But you know, this color right here, this ain't no standard color. Like, you know, you can see that these are a little different than what you normally see. From the normal, the white and the black and the blues, right?
Yeah.
But what I can tell you about this sneaker is these were released for the first time in 72.
Get out of here.
And guess what also happened that year?
What?
That's the year Nike started. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I never knew that.
You know, but the company existed before that, but they became Nike in 72. You know what it was called before that?
What?
Blue Ribbon Sports.
Wow.
Yeah, and these shoes dropped in the 1972, the summer of 1972, for the Summer Olympics. This was a running shoe for the Summer Olympics in 1972.
Well, I can see you clearly did your Google.
Oh yeah, I had to look for these. I couldn't just walk in the store and grab these either. You know, yes, I got banged in the head.
Yeah, no, those are clean. With
the resellers, but you know, I wanted them, man. So.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean?
So, I mean, before we move forward, want to tell our audience, make sure you subscribe, hit the like, even comment, share it. You know, it's the B-side Bodega, and we're talking about everything flip side. All right, y'all, check us out. Pop Rec, my man, The Ross.
Word.
Well, it's the B-side Bodega, you know the movement is major. We get it from the ground and don't be asking for no favors. A crew of creators staying fly with the flavors, going hard cause we building a dynasty like the Lakers. No haters could ever stop us or ever top us. We took over the world and left the rest of it behind us. And you were very lucky to find us because some of the greats approve, and I pity you who declined us. We get into the mix discussing music and fashion, then we touch on current events and other things that be happening. Yeah, you could learn a lot from hanging out with these guys. The Bodega on the B-side, The B-side.
Yes, it's the ultrasonic boom fresh DJ Pop Rec, and you are now in tune to the B-side Bodega. And to the left of me, I got my co-host, my main man, 50 Grand.
The Rough.
And Rough.
To the left, we're gonna start to the left.
Yeah.
On the left of me, we got the rock star himself,
Mr. Ab Rock was good.
Ab Rock. And then to the right of us, we got
Jamma Wun.
the one and only
Jamma Wun.
Jamma Wun. Jamming on the one.
Jamming on the one.
Don't forget the asterisks.
Right.
Word.
Don't you dare.
Don't you dare.
Dare forget the asterisk.
Yeah, and today's drink of the night will be Crown Blackberry. Big shout to Kira. Wow. Thank you.
Thank you.
And you know, we rocking this week. So what's been going on since the last episode?
Oh, well, Irv Gotti passed. Kendrick did the halftime show for the Super Bowl, and Janelle Monae shitted on Nelly at that party.
So for everybody that doesn't know about the Janelle Monae situation, what exactly happened?
Well, you know, there was, you know, that do I dare call it controversy? But people were mad at, you know, Snoop, Nelly, and I think it was Soulja Boy, right? The third person.
Yeah.
That all performed.
And Rick Ross as well. Was it Rick Ross?
Oh, Rick Ross. I think I did. He was there. Well, you know, there's some people who feel a way about them being a part of that. And there was a party, I want to say, at the Grammys, during the Grammys, where Janelle Monae was on stage saying, fuck Nelly.
Oh, wow.
I used to fuck with Nelly, but I don't know more or something like that. He I don't know. But basically because he did something that she wouldn't have done. And he was in the building when she did that. You know,
Damn.
he was standing down in the crowd. They put a spotlight on him and everything.
Oh, wow. They got this on
While she
online?
was saying fuck Nelly for doing something that she would have did.
So what, Nelly performed at what?
I think it was the crypto ball.
Oh, so it was the crypto ball, not the inauguration.
Well, it was associated,
Okay.
you know. At least that's what
That's why she was mad.
she was mad at him for doing it. But I don't understand why she singled him out. He wasn't the only one. Like, why did you say?
I guess because he was in the building.
So it was because he was there.
Yeah.
But, oh! And she did it over his song.
Yeah.
Which song?
Yeah,
I
she did.
did.
Oh, wow.
While
So
his song was
that's,
playing?
she took
Yeah,
artistic
like
liberties.
the band was playing Hot Hand.
That's
She was
probably why. That's
freestyle,
probably
bro.
why she did it, because the band was playing Hot in here.
Yeah.
And she probably saw it as an opportunity to speak her mind, because that's what she does. Like
Yeah. She did. Yeah. She's not new to this.
yeah.
Bro, I think that was messed up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like she's been like the poster child for non-judgment. And she's judging someone right now. Or that night she did.
I mean, but you could look at it as she's just basically continuing the idea of like she could speak her mind freely. Everybody speaks her mind.
Have you ever heard her do anything like that before? Is this in line with everything else that she's done?
I think like you said earlier, man, like what happened is polarizing. So people are gonna be in their feelings. You know, you're gonna get it. And like, think about it like this. 2017, Snoop was in his feelings online.
And then he did it.
And he did it. So,
He sure did.
So this is something that gets everybody in their feelings. You know, it's a very
If I was
polarized thing.
Janelle Monae, I would have dissed Snoop over Nelly, because Snoop contradicted himself.
Yeah, he was a hypocrite about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and then they canceled Chrisette Michele. That was a big thing at that time. So that's why people were like, well, if Chrisette Michele can get canceled, then why can't Nelly and Snoop get the same smoke too?
Man, they should have went and got her. And took us on that stage with them.
Yeah,
Like,
that
come
would
on
have
back.
been funny.
Come on back.
That would have been funny. I'm thinking Chrisette Michele probably like, I better leave me out of any future performances or whatnot, because she caught hell for the last.
Man, you know what's interesting is that I think it's interesting that it's even possible to be canceled. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody don't give a fuck. You know what I mean, about what you did, to the point where they're not going to support you anymore. Like, I feel like what happens is, this is how I think it works. Let's say, I'm a promoter or like, of concerts and stuff like that, right? And because I'm worried about how what you did might spill over into my business, I just don't have nothing to do with you after, I found out people are making, you said something that was...
Like the baby when he did the LGBT stuff.
But I feel like so what's stopping him is whoever's organizing these concerts just refused to work with him anymore.
Yeah.
But what was stopping him from renting out a venue himself and putting on a show? Because I believe that people still would have came.
Yeah, I mean, end of the day, it's money. So the money, one, he's getting paid to do something. Two, he got to put money up front, the bill up front. So there's operating costs and things like that. That's why a lot of people don't throw their own concerts initially. I mean, you got some people who do make the money in the back end, but really why people get canceled are sponsorships. The sponsor of something is afraid that if I bring this person over, people will stop supporting my product. I lose money. So at that point, it's a business decision. They're looking like, I spent this much money on a concert. I'm bringing somebody I might be paying so a certain amount, and I'm going to lose money behind that. Nah. So
I get that. I understand it from that side.
yeah.
But if you're the one who's being canceled, are you just going to be like, well, damn, won't nobody book me for a show? I guess I'm just going to stop.
I mean, you get people like, look, I think about Tory Lanez and Chris Brown. When people were canceling them, they hopped on the mixtape circuit. Just banging out music.
Yeah.
And got it out the mud that way. So sometimes you figure out like, all right, I can get blocked this way, but I'm gonna keep grinding till now you gotta fuck with me again.
I'd have rented somewhere. I don't care if it was a high school gym. You know what I'm saying? And I would have started just doing my own shows.
Yeah, that seemed like
I'm not gonna let nobody.
smart thing to do.
Yeah,
But
like
you know, sometimes artists just get used to that extra push, that helping hand.
The machine.
Yeah,
But also don't
so
forget.
it's a laziness thing. So basically,
not necessarily, but not everybody. Like it's like once you get to a certain point, you don't want to go back down to where you started.
right?
So
I think people also forget that a lot of times now in this day and age, a lot of artists, even indie artists or pseudo indie artists, record labels are signing people to 360 deals. So you're not making money on your own tours anymore like you were if you were. If you're signed to a label, they still eating off you doing stuff outside of like the label push because that's part of the 360 deal. Where back in the day, if you're just doing a distribution, if you're doing a distribution like partnership, then you're not really attached to the label, you just have a distribution deal. You can make money on doing you can do an indie concert, stuff like that. But if you're signed to a major label, their 360 deals are brutal. It's literally like, we're making money off anything.
Everything.
Yeah, everything.
Oh, so you're saying their contracts keep them from doing what I'm saying?
It could.
360.
Oh.
Well, it leads me to a question, right? Which is bigger, the machine or the artist?
The machine.
You think so?
Yep.
Well, think about how we consume music now.
Because you know why the machine's bigger?
Why?
Because of distribution.
Okay, but what if
That's what gets you out there.
What if you're your own entity? Like, let's say, what's my man in the West Coast?
Like Prozac.
Tech Nine.
Like Prolab.
Like
Tech
Prolab.
Nine. That's the name I'm looking
Tech
for.
Nine. Oh, okay.
Tech Nine does
Those
everything
Prolab.
himself.
Yeah.
Insane Clown Posse. They do everything. They sell out all of their tours. So,
But they've been doing it for such a long time.
Right.
They built their community before social media, before the machine got into. Like I always tell people all the time, it's crazy. At one point in time, iTunes and Spotify are the biggest distributor, not the record labels anymore. Like they had to really start wrestling back and forth after Taylor Swift and some other people were doing bypassing labels going directly to Spotify or going to iTunes. The labels really started feeling some kind of way and had to find a way to now basically they have a partnership with these distributors. So because they realized the power of Spotify and iTunes basically being the ones that now they're the new record labels. People are like, well, if I'm an indie artist, I don't need to go to a record label. If I can get like a Spotify only deal or I can get a distributor that got a Spotify only deal, why need a label for? I mean, at the end of the day, labels are just loan sharks. Yeah. They're giving you a loan.
but right now it's a different age. Yeah. You know, where a young kid can make a whole album in his bedroom and put it out himself and reap all of those benefits if he knows how to play the game right, you know? So I definitely applaud that. I love to see it, you know. It's the power is shifting. Yeah. So it's not really on the machine anymore, or not as much.
Well, yeah, so I'll say this. I think I read something recently where the machine is adapting. It's like
the machine is adapting.
That's how they.
It's definitely adapting.
They adapting. That's how they started the 360 deal. They started realizing money's going out, and now all of a sudden they started signing artists 360 deals. And now, I think recently either they're trying to either buy Spotify or there's some kind of new situation going on distribution where if you look at it in depth, it's really going to kill all the indie noise. You know, being from distribution, Spotify sound, you know, from a perspective. So I'll say all this to say the machine is constantly adapting because at the end of the day, they can't let artists have the power.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no reason for them to be around it.
Makes sense. They're constantly changing the goalposts.
Yeah. We're moving the goalpost. Yeah. You get close. Oh, that's a new deal now.
Yeah, but you know, I'm all for the indie artists, i.e. ProLab, my man Jamma, you know what I mean? And you stirred up a little bit of noise this week.
Yeah, I did. Unfortunate. I mean,
post.
I don't know if it's unfortunate, but I was just speaking from the heart.
Well, I tell you what, why don't you tell everybody where the very beginning of how it all started? Like, what are we talking about?
We are talking about a certain division, like a subgenre of hip hop, basically. The drumless, like the drumless soul beats and stuff like that, and the loops, all of that. And I was saying that it's a lazy way of production. That's all. and it stirred up a little bit of controversy. That's all.
Okay, so what was the controversy?
I was talking about the Alchemist,
Right.
because
You name names.
basically he's the king. So I wasn't saying that he's like the way I labeled my video, it could be misleading, but I'm not saying that he's a terrible producer, he's not talented. I was just saying that what he's doing right now is lazy. And he's skilled, he's very skilled. We all know that, but like that whole drumless thing is just, I don't know.
There's
I'm not really
there's a
feeling
couple of producers do it at the Conductor, Alchemist. So a bunch. I mean, there's a bunch of people who are starting to do that, and I mean, I agree with you in the sense that it's lazy if in the day and age where people give you samples now. So it's like, what part of you is in there? If you get a sample pack and you just add drum, or you get a drum pack and you just take a sample pack and add the drums from a drum pack to it, what part did you actually play beyond like, oh, do these two things go together?
Yeah, like
If you go digging, I think that's the thing what people say about Alchemist, like he actually goes digging. And a lot of these other producers who come from the old school go digging for these samples. And so that's the part where I don't know if it's lazy, but I do understand there's a lot of copycats or newer producers who they get the samples delivered to them. So then it's like, what part are you playing as a producer?
Right. Now, hip hop is a sample-based art. So however you get the samples or whatever you sample, or whatever you choose to sample, or however you flip it, I don't really have the issue with that. I just have the issue with the bandwagon and the trends. Like,
Okay.
you know what I mean? Like people be watering certain things down. That's the issue.
Gotcha.
That's what makes it weird.
But I don't know if that's hip hop or social media. I think like we in the era of, I think the era we came up in, each producer, like I could hear a Primo production and there was Primo. Somebody else wasn't trying to bite Primo, you know.
Right.
You can hear RZA production, there was RZA, you know, things like that. And I think we're in the era now where you have tight beats, where you have like everybody's precisely trying to sound like somebody else.
Yeah.
Because it's homogenized, but that's because we consume hip hop online rather than like, you know, via clubs or in our cars and things. We watch the internet. So I think that's really kind of, social media's led to that glut of everybody sounding the same, which is terrible for the culture.
And the fanfare is another thing that I don't really like. How it seems like a lot of fans can't really judge music on their own. It has to have a name attached to it before they think that it's good. It has to have a big name to it. You know, you can't just.
Or if it's a big name, it's not whack.
Right.
Anybody saw Timbaland's Rhythm Roulette?
Is it
I
a new
saw
one?
it, but I don't remember anything about it.
It was underwhelming. Because that's what's the example
Okay.
I'm giving, like a big name producer doing something where at least I think that core, because Rhythm Roulette is really, you know, people who are about production, and they were like, yo, this was underwhelming.
Yo, the best one to me, like of the people who went recently, was Ninth Wonder.
Oh yeah, Ninth One.
yeah.
They
That-
brought him back because to redeem the Timbaland one.
That beat that started around the 10-minute mark,
Yeah.
that was my favorite one.
Yeah, he
I
had
think it's the
a-
third one, the third beat.
Yeah, because he had like 5 bangers.
Oh man, that third one, man. I kept rewinding it back and going
Was
back.
that the one with the strings?
Not sure.
It was like, I think it
Yes.
was like a string sample.
Yes.
That was ill.
Yeah.
Yo, I
Like,
love
dun,
that
dun,
one,
dun,
man.
dun.
Yeah.
Like,
I love that one, bro.
That was ill.
And the thing is that the reason I do, like, he played for something for me last week sometime. And not that I don't think that other stuff that he makes is good, but there was this one that he played that actually that day, I asked to hear it again. And then when he got in the car the other day, what I asked for,
That's a Herod again.
yo, you know I'm gonna ask you, right? You know, I never asked you to play nothing. I wanna hear that Ab Rock joint again. Oh man, was that? Remember that on the Wu-Tang joint?
Yeah.
Again and again. But yeah, and the reason that I asked him what I like it, man, is I told him, I said, yo, I don't know what this feeling is when I hear this, but I like it. I like the feeling it gives me. Same thing with that Ninth Wonder.
Yeah.
Beat, it
A
felt-
good beat just
it
make
just-
you feel.
Yeah, you're supposed to be able to feel music,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I like the Beat Miners episode.
I don't think I've seen that one. I'm
Yeah, it's a few years old though,
Okay, I was getting ready to ask what the
but
recent.
it was really good.
Man, this Blackberry Crown, bro.
Smooth.
It's good. It is
good.
smooth.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's better than the apple.
Wow.
Yeah. He like, oh, apple's your favorite?
I like the apple.
I was gonna say. Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
you might be bougie. Like apple's common.
Crown Royal, I'm gonna need a check.
So let's talk about this Irv Gotti thing, man. The hip hop generation lost a major. It was a major loss. You know, Irv Gotti's responsible for a lot of joints.
DMX.
Yeah.
I didn't know how hard he went for DMX.
Oh, yeah.
Like DMX,
Yeah.
nobody wanted to sign him.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
I knew Irv Gotti do Mike Geronimo.
Yes, to Mike Geronimo. Yeah, that Drink Champs episode with Mike Geronimo was one of my all-time favorite episodes because, you know, it was just so they went very in depth to even down to their fallout.
Yep.
You know, and I just saw recently how Mike Geronimo did, I guess, did a post, I guess, making peace with Irv Gotti. You know, and
I mean, Irv was polarized. I definitely could see how he could rub somebody the wrong way.
yeah.
You know, very brash and stuff like that. But I mean, you can't deny the part he played.
Yeah.
You know, in the culture. Or one of the things that take away from him passing for me is that he just sold his catalog for $200 million,
Yeah.
and he couldn't enjoy that. Less than 2 years later, he was dead. So that for me, every day in my head is like, enjoy life while you here.
Yeah, most
He
definitely.
sold his whole
He
Burner
done
Inc. catalog.
half his catalog for I think it was 200 million.
Yeah,
200 million.
yeah.
So and that was literally 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he just and that's when he had this big deal, and then 2 years later he's dead.
Yeah.
So you know it's like wow, you can't spend it, you can't take it with you.
So what do you think about 50 Cent shitting on him after he died? Is it fair to say all is fair in love and war? Is it distasteful? Is it, I mean, how do you call it?
50 and distasteful, I don't think there's a limit. I think for 50 it's like, look, if you were one of the people responsible for 9 shots coming my way, until
Then it
death
is
do
what
us.
it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. Till death do us.
And with that said,
I mean, you know, yes, it's sensitive for us, but we ain't had to deal. They were beefing for real.
Yeah.
Like he was beefing with all, you know, like Jaro or Supreme, who was backing Irv Gotti and Jaro. That time.
I don't think Irv get enough credit for. I mean, you hear people saying what they're saying now that he's passed, but you know how they talk about people don't get their flowers when they can still smell them. I feel like that might apply to him. I don't know. I don't feel like he's celebrated as well before he got in trouble, a Diddy, or
Because he ran a different type of label though.
But that's what I'm saying. He's like Dame Dash, so I think he was brash.
But okay, that's fine. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about his contribution.
Oh,
Like one thing that I could say, like I saw somebody wearing a shirt. You know how they used to do the Be More Dilla joint, and it was like you were a Dilla fan before you knew you were. Meaning that there's songs that he made that you like and you don't even know.
Don't even know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Irv is that way too.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like he had something to do with the way, with molding the sound of hip hop. You know why? So, I say this because I feel like there are artists who dominate the scene at any given time. And one of those artists was Jay-Z, right? Like he was one of the big names, you know what I'm saying, for a long time. And his first album, Irv got production credit. You know what song? Wait. Go ahead.
Dead Presidents?
No. That was Ski Beats.
Oh yeah, you're right. That was Ski Beats. Not who you with.
I don't know. Go ahead.
Can I live?
Can I Live?
Can I Live?
He did that.
Okay.
Irv did that.
I should know that.
Irv did that. You know what I'm saying? That's considered a classic album.
Yeah.
You know, people associate him with the you know, Ja Rule, and that's cool. You know what I'm saying? Ja Rule definitely had his lane. You know, he was big. You know what I'm saying? But again, so he's basically just more. He supports what I'm saying even more. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Because
he's great style.
he's been at the,
sorry, go ahead.
no, I'm just saying his work has been at the forefront several times.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. Not even just with hip hop though, R&B as well.
Oh.
I feel like people like, you know, kind of, I mean, I know he kind of got on Drink Champs and played himself a little bit with that whole Ashanti shit.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's the last time that people talked about him before he passed away.
Well,
They was joking him about that. You know what I'm saying? That's
what we're talking about.
he's so much bigger than that.
That's
yo.
what we're talking about social media, man. It can make or break you, even if you have a great legacy. People only remember now the last thing they read about you, saw about you, heard about you. That's it. You can have a long legacy.
Yeah.
You know, so this is definitely interesting, man.
And you know what? He tried to front like he didn't care, but my man was hammered on that interview.
Yeah.
And you know what that was?
The truth.
That was pain.
the truth serum coming
That
out.
was him trying to cope.
Yeah, I mean,
This man was diabetic. He don't drink like that. He can't.
he shouldn't.
He shouldn't.
He
You
shouldn't.
know what I'm saying? I think he was definitely trying to suppress something with that.
What do you mean with the
When he was on
as
the
far
show.
as Ashanti? I mean, he
You know,
loves
she's
it.
back with Nelly.
Hey,
And the thing is, they haven't had anything. Now you think about when the last time you even seen the two of them together?
Ashanti and Nelly.
No, Irv.
Oh, well, also too, there was that beef because Ashanti wanted to re-release.
He wouldn't give it to
He
her.
wouldn't give it to her. So what
Yeah.
because he was like basically the way she wanted to kind of like, I think wanted her masters type situation. So she ended up kind of putting a bunch of remixes out to be able to kind of end run around that. But it's record label stuff. So that was also one of the beef. But people were like behind the scenes. Part of that was probably because he still felt some kind of way about, you know. So that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a lot about his character, the brashness and stuff like that turned people off. And I see with a lot of, you know, big.
But that's
like
not
Michael
what
Jordan.
That's not what happened with him. I feel like, you know, that happened at Rockefeller. I feel like the reason so, you know, I think there's a perception that, you know, people credit 50 with like, you know, pretty much killing their whole operation. That's not what happened, bro. Everybody went to jail. They got
He got indicted behind.
yeah, that's what happened. Everybody went to jail. They didn't stop making music because Fifth didn't like them. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody got locked up.
Irv didn't do time though. Did he? I think they got arrested.
Murder
Because
Inc. was
because they were going after
disbanded
Supreme.
it.
So he got arrested, but it was really they were fishing for the man behind, you know, like money behind the
They
label.
raided his house
Yeah.
and studio. Yeah,
And
they
that
broke.
shut everything down for him.
That's why
Yeah.
they went away. It wasn't had nothing to do with Fifth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Notice when they went away, he jumped into that spot and started doing them kind of songs himself. The ones he was dissing him for doing.
That's 50 though. 50 was like
I'm not mad at it, but
50
I'm
a
saying,
businessman. He's like, there's a market. There's a space in the market for a Ja Rule. Let me just slide right in. I already know everything Ja Rule does. Let me
Yeah.
just slide in there with a Ja Rule type hit.
he's like, well, he's not doing it. He's not here anymore.
He said the public.
Let me try
wants
this
it.
on. Oh, this is nice.
The public.
This is nice.
Yeah.
I see why he was. I see why he was wearing it.
It's so crazy how he didn't catch any shots. Like, you know, nobody else called him out for that. Like, he just went. People just kept moving along. He just went. He did Candy Shot right after Ja Rule's joint,
Yeah.
and then it was going on. Like, wow, okay.
I think at that point he intimidated too many people.
Yeah, he was the king.
Yeah,
Kid
to speak
rhyming on
against
people
them.
on songs.
King of New York.
Yeah.
Mad people. But then he went after Rick Ross for being phony.
And Rick Ross kept on moving, didn't he?
Yeah. That's
He didn't sit up. I'm going away now. 50 Cent didn't talk about me.
Nah.
Like he's like, okay. And I feel like Drake needs to do that. Fuck this.
I was just about
That
to say
shit was last year, bro. Like, please tell me you're not still. People are like, ooh, he's sick right now, watching the Super Bowl.
But look,
Man, that dude's still rich, bro.
yeah, but your boy was out in Australia. He purposely picked I feel like he picked to do a tour in Australia when the Super Bowl was going to go on. Far away as possible.
Maybe.
And then he showed up at one of the concerts there with a jersey full of bullet holes and smoke coming from it.
out.
Somebody in this camp needs to tell him that's corny. Like, see, I don't think he got good people around him.
This is the thing, though.
I mean, no, that's just not it. Like, because to your point, he keeps doing things that just keeps people focused on
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like basically
exactly what it
if you
is.
did not give,
Yeah, don't give it any attention.
then nobody else would.
You look at Jay after Nas' situation. Jay kept it moving after Ether came out, boom, boom, kept it moving, and bypassed that period.
You know what's funny? On the last episode, Pop Rec was like, "Yo, the Takeover was the best diss record ever," and even though he said that, so wait a minute. Let me ask you this, because I don't want to speak for you. Do you feel like Jay-Z won that battle?
No.
Right. He said it's the best song. He didn't say Jay won.
I think Takeover is a better song than Ether.
Yeah, but who won the battle?
Nas. I mean, so look, even in this song, and I know I might be in a minority. For me, in the Drake and Kendrick battle, what's the song that Drake had before Kendrick dropped Meet the Grams? He had dropped the song.
They did like 4 songs.
Yeah, it was the one right before, because Kendrick didn't even let the song breathe. He dropped Meet the Grams right after,
Family Matters? Is
it
that
might
what
be
it's
it
called?
might be Family Matters or something
Family
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Drake killed it in that song. Like, I felt like that was probably one of the better songs in the battle to me, lyrically. It's not like us. It's a banger. It's not, it's not lyrical. It does what it's supposed to do, which is like it takes Kendrick's beef, makes it popular, and scales it up. So it's an anthem. I mean, they did what it's supposed to do to get everybody galvanized. Basically, everybody needed an anthem that they hate Drake and Not Like Us was it. But as far as songs back and forth, I felt like Family Matters was probably better. Meet the Grams came right after. Kendrick was smart. He dropped that. Like, I was on Spotify. I was driving home from DC at 2 o'clock in the morning. I played Family Matters. And right after, YouTube played Meet the Grams. I'm thinking, like, Kendrick couldn't have possibly dropped. I thought it was a mistake. And it was immediate, 10 minutes afterwards. So that Family Matters never had any power.
Can I ask you something about that? The way that, like you said, there's no way he could have done that, right? Already. Because he had one in the chamber like that, or maybe all of them were in the chamber, do you think they planned that? Do you think it was orchestrated? How did you already have a response to it? You ain't even heard what he said yet.
I mean, Kendrick did say in the
got a spot.
5:30 in LA or something like that. He did say, "I got somebody in your camp
in your camp. I got a spot."
That's letting me know you're every move. He was like,
Yeah.
it wasn't just the song. Kendrick literally told Drake everything he was going to do. He said, we
walked
can
him
keep
down.
it a friendly fade, or he's like, don't mention the family.
And once
on me.
Drake
It's like,
mentioned his family,
Is that why it was called Family Business?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once he mentioned his
Okay.
family, that was it. He brought that out, and then after that dropped not Like Us, which is diabolical. But yeah.
Yeah, he had that already ready, man. I'm like, yo.
You know one thing that came to mind this week, though.
I think he got a vault of diss tracks.
Look.
He had diss tracks for In Case It Needs to Get Serious, diss tracks for We Gonna Keep It Light.
Just call Kendrick
But
back.
I'm gonna tell you.
Hear the light ones.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why I
Not
asked
for
that.
like 20 years.
I'm gonna tell you why I asked that question, because do you remember what was that one that he did like some years ago? Kendrick, I'm talking about.
Control.
Yes.
Wait,
And basically,
everybody
he was
out.
like, he was like, yo, like, let's get it
That's what we
popping.
do. Yeah.
That's why I think there's a possibility this is staged.
Now they've hated. No. Kendrick and Drake haven't liked each other for almost a decade. They've been taking shots at each other. Because remember, he did the BET cypher rap, like tuck the some kind of rapper back in his pajama clothes and give the high five. He was talking about Drake when he was doing the TDE cypher. He was talking about Drake at that time, and they go back and forth. Drake felt some kind of way because he was the first one to take Kendrick on a tour, and Kendrick was on Drake's album. No, Drake was on Kendrick's first album, Good Kid, Mad City. And I think after that, maybe just, I don't know, maybe he just kind of felt like Drake was phony, but their vibe just kind of, they've been taking shots at each other for the last decade. And so what I think is diabolical, those I just realized this week, was think about the J. Cole and Kendrick song. It says, big as the what? Big as the Super Bowl. Kendrick finishes it by performing at the goddamn Super Bowl. Like, that's petty on another level.
Yeah.
What did you think overall about that Super Bowl show?
I mean, I thought that for Kendrick fans, it was a great, all the symbolism and stuff like that. If you're a regular, like, hey, I'm looking for a Super Bowl performance, you may not like it as much. I mean, two things can be, I know I saw it was polarized on Facebook. A lot of people are like, yo, this is underwhelming. And a lot of people, oh my God, it's the greatest thing since, sliced bread. And both are true, because
No, both are true.
whoever's looking at it, if you're a Kendrick fan, you understand that this dude's first album was like a movie. So he writes on so much different level. So what you're looking for is that level of creativity and layers in whatever he does. If you're a regular fan, you're not a Kendrick fan, you're like, I don't have time for, I want somebody to perform twerk or some fireworks, explosive, whatever, for my Super Bowl thing.
I think what he could have done better was keep the pace up. Like, he didn't have to play as many new songs. I think he could have played other joints. Well, if it was me personally, I would say play everything that everybody knows.
Got
like,
you.
Don't Kill My Vibe, all them type of joints.
You want
he
to play
Humble.
classics.
Classics.
Yeah, that's pretty much what we wanted. We wanted to hear the classics.
Right.
Yeah. But he dedicated, but this was the game over performance.
Yeah.
Because bringing Sam Jackson on as Uncle Sam and really kind of like, I think the biggie was whether he was going to do a Not Like Us. So he built everything around. He tried to do a little bit of his classics with the joint from the Black Panther. And he did Humble. He did Humble a little bit.
Yeah.
But to your point, I was waiting to hear like maybe his best of.
Yeah.
But for what he did, there was a nuance to it. And I think it was, nuance was even bigger when we think about around the time that it's happening after the election and stuff like that. So there was a story he was telling, and Kendrick's one of those people like he don't do stuff for people. Yeah. He do it for him. Like Mr. Morale and the thing, that's his journey through therapy. Like you might not like it, you may not, but he put that album out.
But is that the winning formula for a Super Bowl show?
So again, if it's for a Super Bowl show,
right,
maybe not.
Right.
But people want to see Kendrick.
Right.
I don't understand the sentiment of, it's like that song didn't make the whole halftime show. It was one song out of a whole set. Why does everybody feel like it was about that?
Because Drake was suing, partly because he didn't want that song played. That's what people were inferring. Even though what Drake was suing about was actually something totally different. He was suing because he felt his record label was pushing Not Like Us to be able to diminish the value for when he came back to the table to renegotiate his new deal. So that's what he felt like they were trying to like handicap his stock. That's what he was. But the fact he mentioned Kendrick and all that, everybody felt he was suing Kendrick. He was suing his record label because they both on the same record label, Universal. So Drake was saying like, hey, they purposely handicapping me, so I have to renegotiate later this year, and they devalue my stock, so they're offering me less money when I go back to the table. He could have kept it quiet on the low, but with everything going on,
No, what I'm saying is like, why is it an issue that he did that song for the halftime show?
I mean, I think
some people like he shouldn't do it. Like, why? That was one of his biggest songs of his career. Why shouldn't he have done it?
People were afraid Drake was going to sue because he was going to be called a pedophile.
Right. He took that out.
He did. That's what I'm saying. He was smart. That's why he also said it in his performance. He was like, because some people like to sue.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then, he teased he was going to do it. And then he went like, hey, Drake, and did it anyway.
That song, people are always going to remember that song.
Yeah. I mean, when the whole crowd is singing A minor at the Grammys the week before, at the Super Bowl the week after, yeah, definitely check on Drake. Make sure he all right.
Man.
What do you think about the situation with Serena Crip dancing, Crip walking, dancing, whatever you call it? No disrespect. But the Crip dance.
I didn't like it.
And
Let
especially
it go.
since her sister was killed.
I understood why he did it. You know, she's like an ex or whatever.
Yeah, she's
and
an ex of
Drake
Drake,
was
yeah.
dissing her husband
Yep.
or something like that. And I don't know. It just got a little petty. I just hope that Kendrick
moving forward
don't make everything about this battle. I think it's kind of time to let it go.
Let it go.
I think he will. Being the artist that he is, I think he's done with it.
I think
That's why he said game over. You know, like hey,
Yeah.
this was that. So to your point, that's why a lot of these songs were from the newer album. He, not like us, galvanized the West Coast. So the new album was more West Coast oriented. So a lot of the new, you know, that's why, you know, that he brought Mustard out, the third. So this performance was really a continuation of that part of the story. The Crip Walking, Mustard, you know, the songs from the new album, which is more West Coast-ish. So it was he's in his West Coast bag right now. And he might move on to the next thing after that. But I definitely understand why he had Serena there. You know, I mean, Drake was talking real reckless about her husband. And so she was like, all right, cool.
Drake was talking reckless about her husband.
Oh, yeah.
Drake is the king of petty, man.
Oh, So I don't feel sorry for Drake or anything that happened because Drake definitely done deserved some of the stuff.
He deserved all
coming
the
his way.
smoke he get.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you think about the fact that she was doing that dance? She was getting a lot of criticism for that because her sister was murdered by a Crip.
But she's from the neighborhood. I mean, I get it, but that's really, again, West Coast solidarity. That's a West Coast
politics and all of that.
Yeah, all of that.
And they're from Compton.
Yeah,
Would
So
you
we
feel?
from
Would you
Compton.
feel a way if you was one of her family members?
I probably would.
Yeah, you would. You would pull up about that.
Yeah, but you know, from what I understand, you know, her family members was tripping off of that.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
So they from there. If you've seen the movie, they from there.
Yeah.
When did that happen? When did that happen with her sister?
Wow. I might.
Like the
might have been-
90s.
I think it was later than that.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, was it the older sister or the younger sister?
Oh man, you got me there. I'm not
Okay.
too sure.
Something
It was
to
around
do-
the time where Game dropped his first album
Oh, was it
because
like
he
05?
mentioned it in the song Dream. I believe it was Dream.
2006, 2005?
Not married, man. I know Dre.
Yeah.
Game mentioned it. He
Can
mentioned
you
it on
restart
the
those
album.
two since you're there?
Was she gang affiliated?
Nah.
No.
Yeah, I don't think she was. Because
thing.
from the movie, you can tell their father made sure that they stayed in tennis and stuff like that, getting out of but they, you know, they just lived in the neighborhood. They might have got a hood pass after a while.
So what we doing now on the B-Side Bodega, we just added a new segment where we take a popular song. And in this particular case is My Mind Playing Tricks on Me by Ghetto Boys. But we're not concentrating on that song. We're concentrating on the album. So what we do is we was tasked to listen to that album and give your review on what you thought of the album. Now, I thought it was a great concept because, you know, obviously My Mind Playing Tricks on Me is a straight banger. Everybody know where they were when that song came out.
Yeah.
But
Every
what about
Sunday
the other
morning, I'm in
songs?
service.
Yeah.
What about the other songs?
Yeah. Or was it an album worthy of saying that the other songs, they had other hot songs?
So, you want me to go first?
Yeah.
So I never heard the album before. Like I knew My Mind's Playing Tricks on Me. I didn't hear the other songs. That album came out in 1991. I was around 11, 12 years old, you know, depending on what month it was. So I probably couldn't get to it if I wanted to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, especially
Just
Ghetto Boys.
the kind of parents that I had. So I have an excuse for why I'm just hearing it now. I had to wait till I grew up. But what I also figured out or found out, realized, learned, there you go, I knew I'd get to it eventually, is that album went platinum.
Did it really?
And it went platinum in less than a year.
Yeah.
I think, matter of fact, I think it released like summer of 91, They say the early 92 was platinum.
Mm-hmm.
So
They were the down south NWA at the time.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that. So I feel like that was the Ghetto Boys' response to, or Houston,
Yeah.
Yeah.
its response to NWA.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like they had the same similar experience to NWA. Like, you know how NWA was being banned and all that. They banned them too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But they kept. That's why they called that album "We Can't Be Stopped."
Can't be stopped. Yeah.
Because they tried to stop them. But okay, I'm sorry. I don't want to be long-winded. I liked at least 2 other songs, maybe 3 other songs.
Okay.
On the album. There was some joints I didn't like.
Oh yeah.
I didn't like the Child's Play one, the Chucky one,
Okay.
and I didn't like I'm Not a Gentleman.
Okay.
I didn't like those, man.
It was too crass for you.
Yo, it's just like, what was your purpose?
What's your motivation?
You know what I mean? You have a microphone. You can say anything.
I mean, Willie D was actually a pretty dope writer too when he wanted to. Because I like the joint, said Trophy.
Trophy.
Yeah, where he talked, it was, I think, one of the last songs, and they was talking about how.
Trophy.
Yes.
Yeah.
They did about getting a Grammy.
Yeah, about getting a Grammy.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, and Bushwick Bill came back with F for War. You know, when he was talking about war.
Yeah.
I like that one. That's
Yeah,
one of the
yeah,
ones
yeah,
I
yeah.
like. Go ahead.
Yeah, you know, and then
That was one of my picks as well.
I mean, you know, Mine's Playing Tricks on me, and then the one I like is from Scarface is Nigga in the Morgue.
I didn't like that one.
I like the concept
Why?
of it.
Tell me what. Maybe I missed something. Tell me.
For me, think about in '91, everybody, you know, people might talk about shooting and killing and, you know, robbing and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He broke it down in the idea that the life we're living, every day there's a dude in the morgue because of this. So that's what I liked about it. Like, yeah, that's the idea.
It wasn't about him doing it.
No, it wasn't just about him doing it, because they highlighted, one thing I love about Ghetto Boys, especially Scarface, was that they maximized, glorified a lot of things to point attention to it. Like Mine's Playing Tricks on Me was about mental health too. Mm-hmm. Some of those, you know, like all of those things. So they you know, Bushwick Bill kind of went a little bit into horrorcore, a little bit, kind of one of the early godfathers of kind of horrorcore. Mm-hmm. But part of that was really, I think, was a critique on like, hey, the horror of living in the hood. You know, so you start kind of breaking it down from this angle. Like that, for me, that's why I like Nigga in the Morgue. It was like, oh, okay. I hadn't heard it before until I went back and reviewed it. I was like, oh, he's dropping dimes about not just what's going on, but why it's going on, or the effects or the consequences of what's, you know, what happens.
It takes a very aware person to listen to music that way. Because I definitely was on the surface level, just like, yo, like, why are you like rapping about this? But if it's what you say, then I can see that's the answer to my question.
Yeah.
And I think also where I am in life has to do with how I feel about this album too. Because I think if I was younger, I would be looking or listening to it from a different perspective. Now that I'm in my 40s, you know, I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
When I was young, you know what I mean? It's just like,
turn up.
yeah, you into all that. You know what I mean? And now when you listen to it now, like I still listen to some of that stuff from back in that time, but now it's about the nostalgia. It ain't about the nature of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think also like their intro track, Rebel Rap Family, that joint was hard. The beat was hard. Everything about it was hard. But overall, I'm with you guys. You know, I liked some of it. A lot of it I didn't like, but I'm not gonna hate on it. It was music for that region.
Oh yeah,
basically.
for that region and that time. And I think for that, it was pretty.
And these guys were 30-something years younger than they are now too.
Yeah.
They were in a different.
I mean, even what I liked about some of the production was, it was crazy, you know, for down south production. You know, some live drums, some drum programming, but there was a lot of like sampling from the Blaxploitation era. So it was like, okay, you know, it reminded me a little bit of some early UGK stuff. So it was like they're getting into that pocket. And think about it, at this point in time, the South didn't really have a lot of representation like that. So they were really, you know, they were in the South like in the 90s,
Yeah.
you know, doing their thing. So I think that you're right. There's not a lot of great to East Coast ears. May not be a lot of like classics on there, but it's still a solid album for that era.
Yeah, it sure was. It reminds me of a Cypress Hills, but from the South.
Yeah.
Because especially like My Mind and Playing Tricks on Me.
I could just
that
kill a
song's
man.
So hard,
Yeah.
man.
Yo, I listened to that like before you gave us this project or whatever. I would play that like, you know what I'm saying?
But that speaks to Scarface, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
He wrote that whole song?
Yeah, he wrote. I think it was three of the 4 verses. He may not wrote Willie D's part, but I know he wrote Bushwick's part, which is crazy, right? You know, like how different it is from his, because he has 2 verses. Willie D has 1, and then Bushwick has 1. Yeah, so he wrote 3 of the 4 verses.
Yeah. Well, it was it's definitely one of those. I'm glad I got the opportunity to dive into it, you know, and I want to start doing that every week, like, you know, might just spotlight another joint that might have fell under the radar.
So why did you choose Ghetto Boys?
You know what? Because I was listening to My Mind is Playing Tricks on Me, and I had the thought. I was like, man, you know what? I never heard the whole album, and I'm a DJ.
Yeah. You
I
just
never
like
heard
the
the whole
popular song
album.
of the album. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it made me think, how many joints did I miss out on
Okay.
that fell under the radar? And once again, it falls under the name of the show, B-Side Bodega. So the B-Side, we trying to spotlight joints that did fly under the radar.
The hidden gems.
Bro,
Hidden gems.
I know an album that would be good for that, but if it's something that we should have never heard before.
What's that?
AZ.
Yeah.
Do or Die.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I've heard that front to back,
Yeah.
back to front.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So we gotta use another one.
Nah, well, we could revisit it.
Yeah, because it
You
never.
heard-
it never
you ever
blew
heard the
up,
whole
but
AZ album?
It was
I
hood
didn't
certified.
Never heard Do or Die?
Oh,
You
yeah.
heard the whole AZ album?
Yeah. Rather Unique, you know.
Yeah.
Sugar Hill,
Whole Happy
Happy
Jackie.
Jackie.
Yeah. So, okay.
Yeah. That's the I mean, it's not a underground album because the only reason is only as big as AZ. That's the problem. But it's a dope album.
So it's a dope album.
You know, I used to listen to
was it Raw
88.9
Uncut?
around that time.
Yeah. Wrong cause,
Yeah.
more money, more murder,
Yeah.
more homicide.
Yeah, that whole album, yo. Like,
Is that one I had to just give me?
Yep.
Yep.
Give me what you can't get back.
Yep.
Yeah. So
No, I'll play it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh,
you never heard that one? Do or Die, the first one.
Do or Die.
95.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the closest I came to hearing that album, I was hanging out with this group of guys and girls back in probably like 96. And the guy that was driving was playing AZ like the whole night.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was loving it.
Yeah.
AZ
You
is
didn't
one of
like
them.
it?
Huh?
You wasn't
I
feeling
thought
it?
it was dope. I was feeling it. I
Okay.
liked it. It's just not my kind of hip hop. But you know,
Look, you talking
I'm
like
more open minded now than I was back then.
you
So what's your kind
you
of
a
hip-hop?
purist.
I like weird stuff, man. Like
Like what?
Name a group.
like AC Alone. Like a lot of West Coast stuff, the Far Side.
Oh, Far
from,
Side, yeah, I can
Project Load.
Yeah, I
Okay,
like them.
yeah.
You know,
Freestyle
Fellowship,
Fellowship,
right,
yeah.
like,
Mike
stuff
and
like
Nat,
Raucous
yeah.
stuff. A lot of raucous.
yeah,
Early sound
Yeah.
bombing, yeah.
yep.
Talib Kweli.
I did like Talib Kweli,
Till he
but I
became-
don't like him no more.
I don't like him no more either. And he's from Brooklyn. I really don't. I don't
He
like
was back in the '90s. He was cool. I liked him. I met him. He was a cool guy.
Yeah.
But I don't know, something with him and Twitter and
Social media, I told you.
Instagram.
Social media.
Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Do you feel the same way about Mos? Oh, I'm sorry, Yasin, babe?
And Most was one of my favorite MCs.
Me? so
You know the crazy thing is, you'll never want to meet your favorites.
we saw him at the Howard Theater.
Yeah, in DC, we went to see with the show.
We don't know. We didn't.
You know, it's one of those things where, you know how Lauryn Hill does her album and she does all these other covers because she can't really do the original joint because she'll get sued? That's why she does a remix.
Is that what happened?
That's
Yeah, that's
crazy.
Why. That's why, because she would get sued for mechanical royalties. Because remember, she went to, you know, the court about who the group of musicians that did the album. Yeah, so she's always going to be like that. So Most did a show at Howard Theater, I think for his last album, Auditorium or something like that. One of the one's later albums, and he just was playing everything like almost remix fashion and very kind of esoteric. You know, he's very into that space. And I'm like, yo, I want to hear Miss Fat Booty. I want to hear this mathematic. I want to hear this shit paid for.
Yeah.
But artists being in their zones like that sometimes, he like, all right.
When he left his name behind, he probably left that too.
Yeah.
You ever heard of like Cannibal Ox Company Flow?
Oh yeah.
I was into that kind of stuff.
Okay.
I covered the whole spectrum.
What was that group that had that album called Black Arrow? It had that song called Make You Feel That Way.
Oh,
Black Delicious.
Black
Do you like them?
Gift of Gab, yeah.
They was okay.
They got a little
that
corny.
song,
Yeah.
but that album was just kind of like.
It got a little corny.
What's that one? That group, your group,
Souls of Mischief.
Souls of Mischief.
Yeah, that was.
I feel like you sound like one of them guys.
Souls of
sometimes.
Mischief actually made me step my game up.
Yes.
I didn't know how to rap before Souls of Mischief.
Souls
I
of
was like, wait a
Mischief,
minute,
yeah.
they the same age as me and they can rap like that.
They can rap their ass off.
Yeah, that was crazy.
But I could hear you when I hear them, and I can hear them when I hear you.
That's our generation.
Yeah, we came up under Souls of Mischief. It was
Yeah.
like, yeah. Because they just had that style.
was
For
like,
me,
what?
what blew my head was like they were from the West Coast.
Right.
So everybody
You
else from the West
didn't
Coast was
even
kinda
know
like
it.
gangbanging, and they came out super lyrical. Was like, oh.
Yeah, they were
'cause
nice.
my first joint with Souls was,
Farside was from the West Coast too.
yeah, but I heard Souls first. So I was in London when I heard Souls. I heard That's When You Lost, not even 93 Till.
Yeah,
I had a
That's When You-
mixtape
that
that
was
came
the
from,
one.
had a mixtape come from America that had Woo, Souls of Mischiefs, and what. I'm like, yo, who are these guys?
Right.
They spitting. It's
Yeah.
like, so it made me step my game up to actually start writing. Because you're like, yeah, I want to be that
They
dope.
did that for a lot of people our
Yeah.
age. Eminem
Yep.
mentioned them.
Yep.
Andre 3000 mentioned them.
Yep.
It was like, they was just those guys, man.
Planet Asia.
Yeah.
That's When You Lost.
Planet Asia is dope too. I liked him too. I didn't get into him till like
Chino
99.
XL.
Okay.
Oh,
Rest in
to him.
peace.
Yeah, rest in
XL,
peace, Chino XL.
man.
Yeah.
Yo, when you first started rapping, did you have an accent?
Yeah, I did. I was
sounded
still
like
fresh
the
from
Brit
London.
rappers.
You know what's crazy?
Over here now.
I actually had developed an American accent when I first came over because I listened to so much rap, and a lot of the rap I consumed was American rap. So it just, when I started rapping, it just kind of was in the vein of how I rapped. But it took me a while to actually, just kind of transition to just my regular American accent, which is still not. It's still somewhere stuck in the middle somewhere. People are like, oh, you from New York? Because they can't place my accent fully.
Because you got it from the rap.
Yeah,
That's where all the rappers.
now that makes sense.
Yeah.
At that time, because Nas was big for me, all that stuff. So it's like, yeah,
Who?
different.
Nas?
Yeah, Nas.
Y'all can't see the there, but he.
Yeah, no, but so we're about to close out the show. And definitely appreciate you guys for coming through.
Nah, no
B-side
problem.
Bodega.
This
It's all
good
love,
stuff.
and
Down at the Bodega,
yeah,
B-side.
yes, sir. And of course, ProLab is the main tree that we branch out of.
ProLab
And
is in the
you brothers
building.
all of us actually being part of ProLab.
Mm-hmm.
I know you just dropped a project right earlier this year.
No, it
Yeah.
was last year.
Or last
It
year.
was last year. Yeah, late last year.
Yeah. So can you spit a verse for us, brother? Can you give us a little song? I hate to put you on the spot like that.
He ain't on the spot. He know. No, not right here.
Oh,
He was getting ready to do it at the
Oh,
table.
why you can't do it right here?
Because he's gonna
Okay, we're gonna do that.
you want to do it? Some, yeah, put some beats on. I feel more
Okay,
comfortable
bet.
rapping over beats.
So then we're gonna do that.
You asked him to do poetry
Yeah.
at the table.
All right, that does it for this episode of B-Side Bodega. Real quick, we want to give a shout out to our DJ Nadir.
Yeah. My man.
I'm your man, The Rough.
DJ Pop Rizzy, aka Salvador, he got that.
Your boy, Mr. ABROCK.
All right,
Any musical guesses?
Jamma
Jamma
Wun.
Wun.
Don't forget the asterisk. Nadir, drop that.
Yeah. ProLab. Up in here. Jamma Wun. Once again. Police wanna run down with their guns out cause I'm dumb fresh. Pop blocking with a 304 with a big butt and a sundress. Shine bright at the sunset, overshadow all my enemies. Smack them in the summer breakfast. Yo, Appetite of cannibals, eating up some random flows, hanging from my scrotum, bring some random hoes. I'm living that grand, my town can use a Batman. Brown fish, call it a fishbowl, but it's more like the trash can. A troubled black man, the cop of the covered dash cam. My man in abandoned buildings, OD, this was last 10. The trouble of my broken heart, so tonight, spoke my soul apart. So now my soul departs to grow regardless.